I think I could
We're on.
turn that light off.
Okay, turn it off and start over.
I'm not starting over. I can't reach it with my finger. I'm just skipping it.
Okay.
Hello from the Yarn Closet in Tucson, Arizona. We just managed to squeeze this in. It is the last day of November. Here is Grandma Kitty, Moggy Kitty. Everybody wants to see her and say hello.
I'm doing fine, guys. Couple more weeks, I'll be out of the walking deal on my foot. My foot's healing up.
And see her hair, it's all back
Look.
to the same length
Look
that
at
it
this.
was. It's almost the same length it was before you got it cut, Mom.
Yeah, I know. That's what Connor said. Turned around the other day and said, Grandma, your hair's back already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It grows so fast.
Yes, this has been 3 months, almost my head shaved, literally.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been that long.
2 months?
No, maybe 6 weeks.
I don't know. Anyway, but look at this, and most of the brown, there's just a little bit left, but I look like you, Lynette. Lynette's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you ready for that? Because our whole front is going to be white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, this is the Yarn Closet from Tucson, Arizona. I am TheYarnCloset AZ on Instagram. You can reach us at TheYarnCloset@yahoo.com. We have a blog over at Patreon called The Yarn Closet, and you will get free downloads over there, occasional instructional videos in 2020. There's already been almost a dozen free patterns in knitting, crocheting, and loom knitting that you can download over there. You can sign up for Patreon for free, and you can follow people for free. And it's really, I think there's a lot of things you can do interactively on there that makes it for a fun blog platform.
And I think I'm on there. Am I on there?
You're not following us. I mean, you can look at us without following us, but then you get notifications and stuff.
I don't do any of it. So
I was going to print out some of the patterns, because one of the things when you do the Patreon, if you pull the pattern up digitally on like your laptop, it's prettier. You'll see the pictures, but if you pull it up and do the download on your phone, it doesn't give you the pictures. You just get the words. Mm-hmm. And with some of the patterns that are specifically sock tube related, when it comes to our quarterly gifts, those free patterns will be included with your gift. I've had a few people that I've sent braille stitch marker sets to. They've requested them, and yes, you can purchase them. $7 including shipping. You get the heart container, you get the 5 stitch markers, and 4 clips. Also, I've done some tubes. It's $15 to have a tube either cranked in its entirety. It's between 8 and 9 stitches per inch. This is a standard 100-gram tube, cranked, the entire thing with waste yarn on both ends. Sometimes it's less waste yarn, sometimes it's more. It's just whatever floats my boat at the time. And that's a standard cost if you're looking for other people who do that service. But I will also split your yarn. If you want me to just crank up 70 grams, put that up. You can no longer play with it. Put it up somewhere. I will crank up the 70 grams and I will cake the remaining 30 and just send it back to you. You can do it either through sending me your yarn and then I do your yarn. Just put it on a shelf that you can reach. Shush. Or if you just want something because you want to try this, then we can talk about what I've got in my stash, and there'll be an additional charge for any yarn that I provide. It's $15 per skein, $8 for shipping, but that's up to 3 skeins for me to ship it back to you. And so you can have the one tube, or you can have it split 50-50. And then this hem is called a hung hem. This is a very comfortable, I like it for ankle length. Some people like it for the larger. It's a very comfortable, very secure top to the sock. I mean, it's completely secure. So then all you've got to do is put in your heel and your toe, and you're good to go. So that is, yeah, if you really want me to do it, I certainly will. There are plenty of other people. Look them up on Etsy. Look them up on Instagram. There are plenty of other people who do that service and who may even do other things like a picot edging on the cuff. Stop kicking things or they will all be taken away. Some people even do the full sock. So
Go watch your iPad.
quietly, or do some Legos or color for us. I am also going to go over the gift packages that we're going to be giving out in January, because we do quarterly gifts for our supporters, and you can support through PayPal at TheYarnCloset@yahoo.com, or you can support through Patreon. And also our participants, the people that are engaged and interactive on YouTube and on the blog over at Patreon or via emails with me, whatever. So yeah, I'll go through those gifts today.
Okay, go ahead.
You want me to do that now?
Sure.
Okay. Dun dun dun! You get a handy Ziploc bag. All right, the first one is the Yarn Closet card. It's great for making notes on. We're trying to ignore someone who just wants attention. Let me make more crinkle noise for you.
Just doing that. Go get your iPad and watch
If we
something.
speak to you again, there will be big consequences.
One.
Done. Don't engage with her anymore. Just ignore. Just ignore.
Don't engage.
Okay. Let's get the card. We're doing the luggage tags. I love these because you just take that off and you've got a little card in there that you can write notes. And when you attach it to your project bag, it's secure. This isn't going anywhere because my note cards always come out of my bags.
But you could put the name of the stitch you're doing or the name of the pattern. That's what I keep forgetting.
Or the needle size.
Good idea.
Whatever. Because some little kid is always taking any piece of paper.
And making a picture on it.
Okay, so then you get the heart container, which I find very handy. You get 4 little clippers, the alligator clippers. Those are very handy. And for the free ones, you get 3 braille stitch markers. And those are just fun.
And you can use that little plastic heart thing to put your breath mints in when you go
Or
out.
your stitch markers, because this is a knitting podcast. But we're both legally blind, and we do want to promote that other tier of inclusion, which is the handicapped people, disabled people. Technically, that's us. Growly Bear soap products. This is a hand balm, body balm. It's unscented. And these really cool, these are very hard to find. They're needle holders, but they have the size of the needle on them. Isn't that handy? That is so handy. But don't let them go through the washing machine and the dryer.
Has that happened to somebody?
That's happened. And you know what? They just wash completely off.
But you try and look at the
And this
end.
is an extensive set. Each one of these clips is for,
A
one
different size?
needle.
Yeah. And for somebody like me who has difficulty, I look at the end of like the metal ones, and then I have to get out a magnifier and look at it. Or if it says something on the side, oh, God forbid, I'm ever going to get that.
And
I just
those
guess.
ones that
I
say
just
something
guess.
on the side, it always wears off.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this gift will get the hung hem. Now, if you don't want to use these to make socks, you don't have to. You just pull from this end, and you can pull past here, the whole thing will unravel. You're not going to lose any bit of the yarn. But you get these 2 sock tubes, 50 grams each. It's Cloudborne Highland Superwash sock. It's the Berry Basket colorway. And a set of wooden DPNs. And this one's a 2.0. It's a common size for sock knitters. I tend to go 2.25. So that is what is in this gift bag. So all the same things. The one difference is not the needle holders, but a handy keychain with 4 different sizes of crochet hook.
Where did you get that?
I actually made it.
Oh,
I had it with a different thing that had 8 of them, but it was housed in some plastic doohickey, which totally fell apart.
Now that's clever.
And these are actually quite useful sizes. Don't ask me to read it right now. It's late in the day, it's holidays, it's kids off. You know, we're challenged here, people. And this one gets the full sock tube. It is from a skein of Republic of Wool. The colorway is Floozy. It's the twist fingering. It's an 80-20 merino nylon, 100 grams, 400 yards. It's a very standard sock yarn. It pooled lovely. These are both 64 stitch tubes.
I would use that as a neck scarf and just take that green waist stuff off and finish up the, I like neck scarves. Yeah.
And how often do I ever see you wearing them? Never.
Every time I go out though.
Never.
Well, not during the day. It's not cold enough here yet during the day. It actually was only 51 today.
So one of the things that will be added in there when I finish it, hopefully in this next week, is the pattern for these.
Oops.
My son is calling them sock moccasins. So it is from, see that? Double thick. This is a yarn tube. I saw a picture online and it pretty much looked like they maybe had to actually done this with a sock tube, but it's a very standard shape in making slippers. So I took the tube, measured my foot, folded it in half, started here, and I crocheted the 2 sides together all the way to the end, put yarn through this end and gathered the end. Then I crocheted up to here. Bam.
And it's
you know what
double.
else? And it's double thick. And you don't have to weave in any ends because you knot all your ends. And you take your needle and you stick it in between the 2 layers. You pull it out the other side. You snip it. You don't have to weave in any ends. How fast of a gift is that? That is so fast. And then once you wash them and dry them, put all that stuff on the inside. You can't hardly see it. I mean, what I've found is to not sew over the gathered, but to sew underneath the gathering so you can't see it on the toe. I've worn them enough to now know that you don't feel like a little nub here. I do like them worked up a little closer. It's harder to get it on your foot.
I have to get a drink water.
Here's a water. But I like it a little closer to here. Oh, and do you like my little ankle warmers? These leggings, they ride at a weird length.
Yes, I love the ankle warmers. She made a pair of these for me. Okay, see this? Put your leg up. All right. See, it's like a leg warmer, but it's just down here on this part. Oh my gosh, is that nice?
So that was just a hung hem, and then I took the hung hem right off the top of a sock tube, like the one that's going out, and the other side I just folded it in and sewed it up. It was super easy, and I've been wearing them all the time. I'm gonna make a couple more, because it's finally gotten nice and cold, and like yesterday it rained all day. It was so lovely, and then the sun came out today and I was pissed.
When it rains all day, which just doesn't do very often here, but when it does in the wintertime, we say, it's a meatloaf and baked potatoes kind of day.
And honestly, people don't understand that. People get so freaked out about the weather and the flash floods. We get flash floods from 15 minutes of rain.
And it's not like it's going through the town. You know, when we moved here,
It's different areas of the town, and
I
it's by
thought-
the washes.
I thought, oh my God, there'll be water rushing over the whole city. People's bodies will be floating. Okay, we have these things called washes. It's like
It's a dry river most
Yeah.
of the year.
yeah, and the water goes down in it. That's what they call a flash flood. But see, sometimes you're driving and it'll be hilly, so they tell you not to go through it, and it'll say flat or flood area.
And we have what's called the dumb motorist law. So
It's
if you
exactly
get-
what it's called.
That is exactly what it's called. If you drive into an area during one of those flash floods,
And they have to come
and
and
they
rescue.
have to come and rescue you or pull your car out, you have to pay for it.
$2,000 fine. And people still,
That's a fine, but you still have to pay for it.
yeah, that's just the fine
That's
part.
the fine part.
And people still do it, and
Yeah.
stupid.
So, we've tried all these wood needles lately, and we're just in love.
Yeah.
So my dad gave me some money the other day for an early present for me. And so I went online and I found these shorty, because I like shorty tips. And I tried this Knit Picks, the Radiant interchangeable set. You know what? I love the connection. I love it. You know what I don't like? They've all got a coating on them. Even the natural wood ones have a coating on them. And I've read online where some people say it comes off after time. And I can feel on this one and the other one I used yesterday that it is starting to come off a little bit. So I think I will like it better when that coating really wears off, because I like that actual natural wood feeling.
Yeah.
Feel it. Do you feel
Yeah.
the difference?
Yeah.
Yours is a
Yes.
little bit slick.
Yeah.
But this is way
No.
slick.
Yeah.
It's
I-
almost like using metal. It's
I
ridiculous.
much prefer these. I don't ever want to use the metal anymore.
So then I found out that there's the clover. Remember when we were in Joann's the other day?
Yeah.
And the clover set was $170.
Yeah.
It's $80 right now today on Amazon.
Are you kidding?
I might just buy it. But then I wouldn't ever need any more needles. And it's actually got a few more sizes in it than the interchangeable sets I already have. Because I
Good
have
idea.
this wooden one, which is just a few, and then I have a Chowgu, which is only like 4 sizes, and then I have another Knit Picks, which is 7 or 8, and this Clover Takumi, which I like the Clover Takumis. I like them. I've never done the interchangeable, but I like the, I think I have 3 of the circulars that are fixed. I like them. But it has like 11 or 12 needles in it, needle sizes. I would never need any more. I'd have plenty of extra needles to give Prue when she's older and wants to learn. So I might. I don't know. You talk for a while, and then I have one more thing to go over, and that's it.
Okay, I'm going to show you something that I tried that I would never buy again, so it was a good thing it only cost a couple bucks.
I
Right.
told her.
Yeah, but I had already bought it and already taken it out of the package. Okay, I don't even remember how you get this thing out.
I'll do this part.
Okay, this is supposed to
This
be...
thing doesn't come out, Mom. It's the other part that comes out.
Oh, well, something comes out.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Okay, watch this.
So
This is
this
what,
is you string your yarn so your working yarn comes out this end. Okay, and you string it through here to work the tension. This is like a little stick to apparently help you shove it in there.
Yeah.
And it clips on the back of this doohickey. It's for loom knitting, and the bottom line is all you gotta do is cut a chunk off a straw. It'll do the same thing better.
And this is why
And you
I
can't
don't
do chunky yarn through this. Did you not even see that? You use yarn that's so much chunkier most of the time.
No, I didn't see that. No, I didn't. Okay, that's another thing. Don't try to do chunky yarn. But, okay, so you got your ball of yarn, and you get the doohickey on. All right, now it's on like this. All right, so then you're going to loom. And this is used so that when you're doing a loom, you go like this, go around to do your E-wrap.
E-wrap. But if you're doing the
But-
knits or pearls, you don't really need it.
Okay, but then this is on there. Guys, who thought this up? Because you can't get it off.
And if you use a little chunk of a straw and there's a problem, you cut it
off. You can cut down the side and take it off. You can't get this off. So now you got this stuff wound around here, and you got this, and you got this, and you got this is on, and now you don't want to use it doing that because you're doing, and that's a pain in the neck. So, okay, see this? Whatever this is, don't get it.
Trash it. Trash it time.
Okay, so then, all right, because I'm doing well with this looming.
She is. She really is.
Okay, I've done a couple of hats. Then I got, I got one of the smaller, it was blue or something, blue or green, smaller ones.
Oh, you
out.
just need a smaller circular one. She
So-
got the 24 peg smaller blue loom out to
Like-
make like a little preemie
Aw.
hat. It's like a doll hat. That's not, you got to use like the 36 peg one.
Probably. But I made a couple of those.
Probably. That is technically the size you need.
So I made a couple of those so that I get used to the idea of how to do it and get the pattern going that I wanted and stuff. Boom. Got them done. Okay. Then, okay, this size, I love this size because this is good for
And
a
this
big,
is unusual. This is one of the old-fashioned nifty knitters. It's the 41 peg. Very few manufacturers make an odd number peg set anymore because a round 41 peg will make a seed stitch hat with no problem. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. You guys just keep going. You don't even have to know when the beginning of round is. You just keep going and you will get a seed stitch hat.
So then, guys, guess what I learned? I learned that all you do, if you want to do, say you want to do a blanket or a scarf or something, but you don't want to do the whole thing, you just start and you go count however many you want. So you want to go 22 or something, you do 22 round. Well, then you're working back and you're going back and forth. And it's just like using one of those long ones.
Yeah.
That I can't use at just that.
She doesn't like the knitting boards. She doesn't like going back and forth for that double thick fabric.
And yet
And
I
she
can do
doesn't-
this.
And she doesn't like using just one side of the pegs. Technically, most knitting boards have a slightly either shorter or taller, thinner peg.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the fact that the pegs on there are she just likes them better.
I don't know. But anyway, but look at this. Isn't this the cutest color? Is this some, I don't know, it's Burnett baby blanket or something. Whatever it is, I like the color. This I did up in about 5 minutes, boom, and I just put it on one of the little ones, and I was watching TV, and I got it. Okay, so that's what I like.
That's garter stitch. You did notice that, right? And it looks like garter stitch.
Yes.
You can do things that look like
Look at that.
knitting and purling. You can do things that look absolutely. I had a
And-
loom back
and
in
I'm
the
not-
day that was an oval that I could make baby sweaters all in one piece that I just had to seam down the side. And there are patterns like that that'll be coming for free download on the Patreon.
So then I bought this thing. I don't know, it's about $25 or something. Got it at Joann's. You know, they have, why does Joann's send out if you sign up with them, I love this. I mean, coupons, 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 but just lower the price to begin with so that we don't have to have all the coupons. But then, so I bought this thing. This is, well, look at this.
And it comes with 2 looms. One you can put on the outside, one you can put on the inside, so you can, smaller, like this would be a perfect infant hat with this size yarn. Okay, this would be a good child, maybe a woman's hat with thinner yarn, like a DK or a thin worsted.
Yeah.
But you can use them to do it in a knitting board, so you get a double thick, or you use one or the other, or you use these little feet and like hair binder attachments to use some of your other looms.
Yeah.
And these looms that have more space between the pegs, you'll get a different gauge than with these thinner spaced ones. This is more designed for worsted held double, bulky,
Blanket.
or a lacier effect when you're using a DK or a thin worsted.
But this is why it would be knit.
But how do you feel about this one? Have you used this orange one? Do you not like this little slit at the top, or do you like it?
Okay, I was getting to that.
Okay.
This one has, it looks, to me, it feels like it's a crochet hook top because it catches it or something. Anyway, but this is cool. So you set this on your table in front of you, and as you're going around fast, 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 you can do it so much faster. Okay. Or you put some of these on so much faster. And like she said, you buy this package, is about $3, and it's these little extra catcher things on here. So, okay, all in all, this is a size I prefer.
Yes.
But this is the one now that I'm going to use to make the baby things.
Right.
Also, see how close it is together?
That's what I was talking about
Yep.
for the gauge.
Yep, and see that? So if you go out and you buy the baby yarns, well, they're not going to look right on a big thing that's got big space. You got to use it on the little doohickey. But this one, I don't like to use this so much.
In the middle.
And I don't like to
But
sit like
can
this
I-
at
can
a
I-
chair.
Can I tell you that you can, remember, you can take these outer ones off.
Right.
So you can put it in the middle, you can take this outer
Yep.
ones off, and if you're at a table, it would make it a little bit easier to use the center.
Right. But I like to do this and be sitting here. I like it in my hand. And because I like to be able to feel it. And I'm
I
trying.
knew when you got that you, it's the cool idea of it'll be faster and it rotates and all this. But honestly, like your,
Yes.
you know,
and you're
your
always,
body mechanics are so
and
weird
you have to
in
sit
doing
up
it.
and do at a table or something. Well, I lay in my recliner at night and I'm knitting and I'm doing whatever, you know, and I'm not sitting up at a table. So, but this is the size that I'm going to use for the baby things.
You'll be impressed with what you get from that size.
Yeah.
And once you get used to it, it won't be any more
Yep.
difficult
Yep.
than the thinner stuff.
Yeah. So all in all, I'm happy with all this stuff.
Can you grab your little book? Do you have your book out for a reason?
And this one I just picked up at the library.
Oh, you got this at the library.
Yeah, just go to your public library, put in loom knitting and as a subject, and they'll show you all the loom knitting books that they
Yeah.
have.
Yep.
And so I just picked up one.
See, you can do color work, you can do ribbing. Some of the free patterns that I have are very simple. There's a yoga sock, so it has an open heel and open toes that's in a ribbed format. There's ribbed fingerless gloves, ribbed hat, seed stitch hat, that teddy bear over there.
You can make toys, you can
All
do
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I signed up, I don't know what it's called, but it's a loom knitting site anyway, so then I can look at all the people who are making all these wonderful things, and it gives me...
Tuteate, Tuteate.
What?
That's on Instagram and YouTube. She's got great loom knitting tutorials. Marley Bird even has some good loom knitting tutorials. Remember that
lot
there
of them
are
do.
playlists on our channel. You can go into the loom knitting playlist. You can go into the knitting and crocheting. You can go into any of them. We try to put things in there that we've found useful and helpful.
Okay, look at this, you guys. So while I'm watching TV or I'm in the car, when I'm in the car,
Okay, can I
like
ask you a question?
No, because I know what you're going to ask, and don't even touch it. So she's saying, once again, Mother, why do you just do this and do it in a knot? It's not a knot. It's just one. It's not a whole knot. It's just so that I know where this is.
No, I get that you need to, because you want to be always changing on the same side. But do you see the other problem?
Why is it shorter?
Right. So my question is, this yarn is not the same weight.
And I didn't
You
know.
have to look at
I
the
know.
label to see
Well, I
here
didn't.
for the size of the yarn. Because it's not, even if you've got the same number of stitches,
See what happens?
because this is DK or sport weight, I can already tell from feeling it in the skein. It's much thinner than what this was. This was a true worsted that she held double, and this is like a sport she's holding double.
So I liked the colors I got. I mixed a white, oh, you know that white ball of yarn I got that was that heat wave, I think it's called. You know, it's supposed to make your head warmer or something. And so I mixed the white with the green, the white with the yellow. And then I thought, oh, but now I want some pink, and this has got all these colors in it, and it's going to look nice. Yeah. This might be a muffler for just in the car. But you know, this is what I need. I need in the car, okay, because of my sight problems right now, if I'm sitting in the car, stuff is blurry. But then I'm sitting in the car, and if I don't, I used to read in the car. I know a lot.
Makes you want to throw up.
I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, but I need to look down instead of looking out the windows, and I need, or just be concentrating on what I'm doing and not be looking out the windows.
Can I make a suggestion so that you can make something that's maybe a little bit more multi-seasonal here in Arizona?
Sure.
Mom, all you've got to do, you can do the same garter stitch, but use thicker needles with the same thinner yarns, and you're going to get a lacier fabric. So you
Looser.
can, a looser, lacier fabric. So now you can make a long rectangle that's lacier,
And just wind
and
around.
you can just, it's more seasonal. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Because this stuff, good God, you can't use that other than about 6 days a year.
And that would be the 6 days that I have to go to a movie with my husband, or if I take Prue to a movie, because my neck is what's cold in a movie. I'm telling you, it's hot
So
here.
don't make this very long. Make it
And
just
just-
long enough that you can
and just
sew
make
it
it
together and slip it over your head and have it. That's called a cowl.
Yes, or a big button on it.
Yes, you can do a button on it.
Big button or something, yeah. Because a big problem we have here is the air conditioning. Because it's so hot that they have to air condition cold, and then it's like too cold in a. Oh, the other night, okay, because my mother-in-law's 92 last week. So all 4 of her kids are here for a solid week, and every single night it's dinner at somebody's house for the whole family, or it's go out to something, and
No, I'm doing this. She's
we
talking.
we go out to a restaurant or
No.
something,
Throw this in the trash.
and
with that piece,
we
please.
all have a meal.
Pick that up.
Laura made the neatest thing. Years
Go.
ago she made this, and one time, say hi people.
Hi,
Goodbye.
ice cream.
Go.
Yeah. And she made the neatest thing. It's a shawl like Lynette's reader shawl in a way, but it comes up on your neck in the back. And so she had
It's already a free download over on Patreon. It's called a cape or something, and it's yeah. It's a triangle, but the point isn't there. So you start out at the smallest section, and I would kind of measure someone's width at their waist. That's where I would start out. So you're doing the triangle, so then it comes over here, you put a button on it here, you've got free arms, but it's more cozy around your neck, and it goes down far enough to really cover.
But it comes up on the back of her neck. 92-year-old lady. So she comes in, she's got on a long sleeved top. Then she had on a jacket. In the old days, I used to quilt, and I'd make her these beautiful quilted jackets. She had on one that was all in fall colors.
If you have food, you eat the food now. Put that away.
Put it away.
Eat the food first.
And so she had on this quilted jacket, and then over it, she had on this shawl of Laura's. And we watched her as she's walking in. She looked like she was on her way to the North Pole to collect her gifts from Santa or something. It was funny, but she said, even as it went on in the night, she said, my neck is so cold in this weather. My neck is so cold. She loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, I made, back in the day, there was a church here in town when I lived in Wisconsin that would send me big boxes of donated acrylic yarn, and I would make those shawls, and they would give them out as part of their ministry to housebound people, elderly people, whatever. Yep.
So, anyway.
Do you know why I don't mind having a chunk of this chair missing? Because look, you can just stab your needle right in there.
Oh, yeah.
You don't lose it.
Did the dogs chew that off?
I got it from you, and that's the way you bought it.
Oh, yes, I bought
Then
this.
the daughter picked at it.
Yes, I bought this at a thrift store for like $5 or something because I love the shape of it, and it's
our old dining room
Right.
wallpaper in a different color. Yeah.
in a house from
40 years ago.
You're old.
I know. So. Okay, so you want to hear this
old.
trick?
I'm
I
old.
was talking to somebody the other day who is a yarny person, and they did not know it. Okay, do you see the two different labels? Do you see how this is a standy up label and this is a side to side label? What is the number one thing that bugs us all about these center pull skeins? How to pull it out of the center, okay? You look at the label. If it's like this and it's side to side, you go in from the left,
Remember that left.
oops, and then this one's going to be ridiculous. But you go in from the left, and yeah, I got vomit this time because it was wonky. But you go in from the left, and you will find your center.
That's where the end is.
And that's where your end is. If it's a side to side, it's on the left. If it's an up and down skein, it's in the top. So here, this is tightly skeined. Oh no, I'm gonna have vomit again with this one. Darn it. But I'm telling you the truth, it works. It's absolutely the way they do it in the manufacturing plants. Yeah, I can feel the little bit of a knot that's gonna give me yarn vomit.
Yeah, but it's stuck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. These are things when you're just starting out with this that you've known and you take for granted.
Yeah.
That we don't know, and we like to hear these tricks.
Well, and I was just watching the Sweet Tea guys, and one of them was talking about that knit front back slip. Instead of knit front and back to make an increase in your knitting, you can knit the front and just slip the back. And he'd never heard about it, and I recently heard about it and tried to do it and got these weird floats. So I was doing something wrong. I don't know. But that's about it. So I am going to try to do
Weekly podcasts.
more weekly podcasts. We will still try to do once a month together. And in the beginning of January, we'll announce the winners of the fourth quarter gifts. So go ahead and participate and
Comment
support the
stuff.
podcast, so you can get involved in that. And contact me directly at TheYarnCloset@yahoo.com if you're interested in braille stitch markers or yarn tubes. And
What else do you have to say?
in 2020, let's talk about what we learned this year, and let's talk about our plans for 2020, because 2018 was my year of the sock, 2019 was my year of the sweater, and sadly, I will say this because a number of people have said all your sweaters look the same. You know, that's because we're all reluctant to buy the amount of yarn it will actually take to make a sweater. So, but I've constructed them all differently, and yes, they've looked the same. I needed to get a bare minimum jumping off point, and I needed to figure out what actually was the easiest thing. So, because I'm a little bit more of a planner aheader, so that when I'm struggling more with my eyesight, it'll just be there already. I'll have a basic recipe, my vanilla sweater, and I'll be able to modify it as I need. But I'm going to work with that general design, that boxy-ish design, and see what I can come up with. But there's other things I want to do in 2020, so like I got to try to figure that out.
We have a certain thing we like. You know, we tend to have certain colors of clothes that we like.
But for us, it's not just about what we like.
What works.
It's what we need and what works for us. Mm-hmm. I don't dress the same way I did when I was younger.
No.
Visually, I can't wear the busy things. I can wear some variegated yarn stuff, and that doesn't bother me as much as like a floral print that could make me dizzy. Mm-hmm. I can't wear the flowy long skirts I used to. I'll trip. Mm-hmm. You can't wear the lightweight t-shirts because you never know how see-through it actually is. Mm-hmm. So I'm always trying to wear something that's a little bit taller up.
But we find styles that we like and colors that we like. And this is funny because we had a chance to go to Joanne's. She was in school, and so Ed took us over to Joanne's the other day. And as we're going through, what were we picking out? The exact same colors we always pick out, the same kinds of yarn we always pick out. But we all become creatures of habit that way, and we think, oh yeah, oh I love this. But do we really love it, or do we love the color of it? Sometimes we love color if we can see a certain color really well, because we kind of crave color. As I have both eye things going, and so I'm losing vividness of color. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like I see gold, but it's kind of like muddy gold. You know, I see blue, and it's like, it's not what I used to see. And so sometimes...
Yeah, like, can you even see those chairs over there? Because I can't. No.
They're just, you know, it's,
and a lot
I can
of this
see the
green,
shapes,
even
but
though I like
blurry.
It kind of blends into the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But isn't that fun to think of how we tend to go with the same things, the same patterns, the same colors. I was going through my quilt fabric, getting stuff out that I'm going to be passing along to some quilt friends, and I thought, well, of course, these are all the muted reds. Mm-hmm. I have a whole box. Mm-hmm. Well, what was I going to do with them? I don't know. But I have all these different muted this and then these, but I don't have any purple. I never quilted with purple, hardly ever. Love you. Goodbye. And yeah, let's talk next year about plans we have of what do we want to learn how to do.
Because it's really hard at this stage, I think, for both Mom and I, because I want to stay you still want to learn things. You want to be challenged. But on the other hand, it's so much more challenging for us sometimes. But then because we are always picking the same colors, the color isn't always the thing that keeps us going in a project.
It's a different pattern. It's learning a different stitch.
But it's so hard because people are like, well, you just, you buy a pattern and you follow it. No.
No,
And
I didn't when I was a quilter either.
And there are certain stitches that you can't. Well, yeah, when you do your wrap and turns, you just feel this or see this or whatever. Not so much.
No.
No, there are just certain things that are harder. And so when I do buy patterns, because especially if it is an indie pattern person, I like to buy the pattern, even though what I end up making could be vastly different, even though that was my jumping off motivation.
Okay. Yeah. So next year will be interesting to see what we learn. I know that I'm grateful that you've brought this to my attention. This is not like quilting where you better stick to that 1/4 of an inch, because if you have 8 rows to put together, and if you're off by 1/8 of an inch every time you do a seam, guess how much you're off? 1 inch at the end. And this chunk is 1 inch shorter widthwise than the next one. So that's something I'm not going to be able to do in the future, but I can feel this. I can, with my thumb, and she taught me to do this continental. That's faster, but I can't feel what I want to feel. This way I feel one stitch in. I can feel how I'm putting it through. I can feel when I go around. I don't have to look at it at all.
Right.
And I'm liking,
and
we all have to find out what works for us.
But the other thing that gets frustrating when we watch all these other podcasts is somebody, well, I made 36 sweaters last year. Why didn't you?
Yeah, well.
We can't do things as fast.
This is not, life is not a competition.
No.
And this is a hobby to keep us engaged, our minds engaged, to keep us engaged with people on here that we've gotten to know. Some people that, we look forward to seeing their grandchildren. Lynette. I just love Lynette. And Lynette, my hair someday will be as white as yours. I love it. Okay. Go play with that game. And this is a good thing. It is a good thing. All right, are we done?
We're done.
Okay.
Look with your heart first. We will see you as much as we can throughout December.